video was provided to the police, and because the video was provided to the police, he managed to get away with those charges. And as a result of that video being provided to the police, I was charged caution, and I had to go on probation. So I have a criminal record, and that was a decision made by the police at the time.
Good decision.
So I really had to pay the price.
Oh, shut up.
And I almost got myself murdered at the age of 15. I was on the front page of Hackney Gazette because I had been kidnapped, taken, by the kidnappers to a river. Had all of my hair cut off. I had a bag put over my head and thrown into the river.
When you're dating these women, are you asking questions in order to elicit responses like this 2 to 3 years removed from your father leaving, and this is what you're caught up in?
What's going on YouTube? It is your boy Rome back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So today we're going to be discussing this IG model that people who watch the channel have brought to my attention. But what really stood out is when somebody had emailed me about it. They didn't send me a link, a video, or nothing, but other people started following up and started sending it to me and wanted me to react to it. So I figured, all right, well, I'll go ahead and see what it's talking about. So I noticed MTR seemed to be covering this, so we're going to see what it's talking about, and I'm going to share my thoughts on it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
About 6 or so days ago, it was a story of this Instagram model. She goes by the name of Victoria Everest. Up on Instagram. She has since limited all comments on her post because the amount of comments and hates that she has been getting as of a story that broke loose. In it, she falsely accused a man of the R word, and the man's friend recorded her on tape actively denying that the situation ever occurred. Now, the man that she accused was set to be in prison. Life ruined. And if it wasn't for this brother, he would have faced consequences for a crime that he did not commit. Anyway, this video got 97,000 views, and within it, a bunch of views outside of me, especially up on Instagram, which is her current platform of choice, and it went viral, okay? Now, since then, there has been an interview that she has conducted explaining her side of the story, which is fascinating to me because if it was a man who has been accused of this or of assault, would they be giving him a platform to speak out and defend oneself? Who knows?
All right, cool. You can. I don't care. I want to take him to the cleaners, babe. Yeah, but this is what I thought about. This is what's funny. I thought about him. Because I hate him because he's so much like me, and it annoys me.
I doubt it. Nevertheless, because she was given a platform, I think that it is appropriate to review. Without further ado. By the way, I'm gonna leave a link to this video down in the description box down below because I just noticed it's 43 minutes, so we will not go over it. Just a couple of the highlights, as well as I'll leave another link to my first video that I did about this in case you're unaware, so you can get the context. Let's go.
We are joined by somebody that has gone viral the last couple of days for something very controversial and very sensitive to a lot of people. She is here today to discuss her side of the story and hopefully clear some questions up. Please welcome to the show, Victoria Everest. How are you?
I'm hopefully terrible. I also wanted you guys to know that I've been in contact with the man that outed her. I wanted to bring him on to tell his side of the story, to clarify a bunch of information. And now I'd love to hear his thoughts in regards to whatever it is that she's about to say. But unfortunately, he hasn't reached back out to me in a couple of days. So my brother, if you're seeing this right now, feel free to get back in contact with me. All right. If she's being given a platform, your story needs to be heard as well, directly from you. Let's go.
Great, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. I mean, this has been a very intense couple of days for you, I'm sure. How have you been feeling? How are you managing?
Actually, I've managed to stay quite grounded. I've got an excellent support network and community around me, which I'm just incredibly grateful for. I'm in the middle of a 21-day juice fast, which has really just allowed me to just not react to things that are being saying online, but really just respond with truth and clarity. So I'm super grateful for this opportunity to set the record straight.
Well, thank you for joining us to set the record straight. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah.
So before we get started, tell us a bit about yourself. You've got an amazing platform in terms of wellness and fitness and caring for the body. So for those people that don't know you prior to this scandal, tell us a bit more about what you do and who you are.
So I run one of the fastest growing detox and wellness academies in the world. And we teach people essentially how they can reclaim their health, giving them tools and techniques, predominantly based around fasting, but also other health healing modalities. So movement's a really big part of that. I also support, I guess through my time of growing my community, I support a huge community of people online with just daily inspiration, providing them guidance around juicing, working out, health, wellness. That's essentially what I do in a nutshell.
Obviously, you're not in the studio with me, so where exactly are you?
So I'm currently in Jamaica. We are in the middle of running our Reset Wellness Retreat, where people across the world fly in for a week to come and detox and reset their body in paradise. It's been an incredible experience. And yes, we're right in the middle of the retreat, but it was really...
All right, shut up.
Shut up, bitch! I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
Take the time out. And
to hit fitness, dietary, just looking after your body, it's very contradictory to what has come out recently about you. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
Obviously, there's been a lot of conversation surrounding you and this leaked video online. Let's kind of start by, I think what we need to kind of clarify is your relationship with men, first and foremost, because certain things that you were saying in the video kind of showed that you don't like men.
Yeah.
So kind of talk me through that. Like, what's your relationship or your view towards men holistically?
So just to give you a bit of context, my mum's Turkish, my father's Nigerian. I was born and raised in London. Both my parents came to the UK as immigrants back in the 80s. My mum actually couldn't speak any English. Turkish was our main spoken language at home, and I actually ended up learning English at school. My relationship with my father was a very interesting one. He was a well-renowned journalist, had a publication called Business in Africa magazine, and I was his princess. I had a very, very close relationship with him growing up until the age of 12, when he then moved to South Africa to pursue his business and his career. And at that point, things really changed for me. Going into my teenage years, not having my father present. I would see him once or twice a year, but he didn't play an active role in my life at all. Kind of going into early teenagehood, adolescence, and at the age of 19, at 47 years young, his life was tragically taken. He was assassinated by a family member. And that was, for me, probably one of the most traumatic experiences I had to go through, as a young adult, in my early teens, losing I would say losing my best friend. I looked up to my dad so much. We spent so much time together, even though he wasn't there physically, he still was my idol, and to have his life, to lose him so tragically at such a young age, I think definitely played a burden on me for sure.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, my condolences, because that is a horrible story. However, that doesn't give you an excuse to falsely accuse somebody of doing something horrific to you. period. Like I don't care. That does, and I don't see the connection or the correlation between the two. But let's continue to go through the video and see what else she has to say, because I can see already this is gonna be one of those long-winded ass sob stories as to why she has the views on men that she has.
Do you think that your father being absent in your life contributed to how you view men?
Not having my dad around growing up didn't influence my view on men. I think what it did do is it created a space for where I didn't have the right guidance, nurturing, or support structure as a young person. It created the space for me to just essentially encounter challenges, going through, my teenage life from the age of, from the ages of 12 to 16. So from year 7, to year 11, I went to 6 different secondary schools. I was expelled 3 times. I'd got myself involved with, a gang of criminals, to say it quite frankly. And I almost got myself murdered at the age of 15. I was on the front page of Hackney Gazette because I had been kidnapped, taken, by the kidnappers to a river, had all of my hair cut off. I had a bag put over my head and thrown into the river. I was in a hospital for 2 weeks in concussion, and as a result of that, there was multiple attacks at that time, but as a result of that first attack, I was put into witness protection, which I later came out of because I decided not to pursue the charges. But at that point, I also was in social services by the age of 15. I was in a foster home.
Gentlemen, and this is the learning lesson for all of us, okay? When you're dating these women, are you asking questions in order to elicit responses like this? Pretend like you're sitting across the dinner table from her. It's your first or your second date. And she begins to talk about her childhood like this. Red flag should be going off completely. 2 to 3 years removed from your father leaving, and this is what you're caught up in? And she's doing this in order to victimize herself. Don't think of it that way. She actively participated in bad groups, bad social circles. She was around cheaters, dealers, scammers, and wheelers. She was around those people. She made that active decision to be around those people because this is who she is.
Yeah, she is not a victim. She is a volunteer. You let them talk long enough, they end up telling on themselves. That's just wild to me that you got into all that not too long after the passing of your father, and you really gonna sit over here and expect us to believe that's your excuse? That's your excuse. But I don't know, man, because according to her, it didn't have anything to do with her father. But clearly, there is definitely some trauma there because of all things, you decided to go to the streets at that age, a girl at that. Okay.
My dad wasn't around, like I said. And both my parents really tried their best with me. I am an only child, and I think by the point where they realized that my life was in serious danger growing up, at the time I was in Hackney. So when they realized that my life was in serious danger, my dad decided to step in and remove me from the UK. And I ended up finishing my studies in Germany. I went to the Berlin British School, and I ended up finishing year 11.
Okay, wow, that's a lot to take in. There's so much to unpack in what you've just said.
To have the ability for your father to take you out of it.
You mentioned, you talk about your dad, but where was your mum when all of this was happening?
I also lost my mum in 2021 to COVID. She was 56 years young, so that's
4 years ago.
Talking about my mum always get a little bit emotional, but up until the age of 12, my mum played a really active role in my life. She was the mum that would take me to every single after-school club, swimming, horse riding. She is an incredibly, incredibly strong and inspiring woman that poured nothing but love and nurturance into me growing up. But when I hit the age of 12, she met somebody, and the person that she had met was living in Tottenham at the time. We were living in South London in West Norwood. And within a few months of meeting this individual, he was a Turkish man, she fell pregnant. They decided they were going to get married and have a child. So essentially at the age of 12, my mum had decided to start a new family. And I think that's really when my struggles with men really began. And
what?
Throughout those years, throughout those teenage years, throughout the adolescent years, from the time that my mum was with this man, his name was Sayed, I witnessed the most horrific acts of domestic violence. I'm talking, you know, my mum was regularly beaten black and blue in front of me, had her hair dragged, had her teeth kicked in while she was pregnant to my younger brother. My stepdad kicked her in the stomach. And, you know, it was just one of those things growing up. I ended up really resenting, you know, because I had no control. As a teenager, I had no control. I had no way of protecting my mom. And I thought, definitely at the time, maybe I can seek safety and comfort on the streets. And that's what I did. I got taken in by the streets. And I remember, 14, 15, that was another thing as well. You know, whilst I was still at home, I also had challenges because my mum, being Turkish, is white. My stepdad was white. My little brother was also white. So I also felt like I didn't fit in. My dad wasn't around. So the closest space, or I guess the closest I could feel home was really the safety on the streets. And I remember.
Yo, I can't help but laugh. That woman really just sat up there in front of that camera and said the safety of the streets, the same safety of the streets that ended up getting you damn near murdered, kidnapped, and God knows whatever else it got you into. To say that, I don't know about y'all, but that don't sound too safe to me. You know? But now that she mentioned, seeing her mom deal with abuse, I guess it can make a little bit more sense why she probably would have this negative view on men. I always found it very interesting how women can justify their feelings towards men based off of past bad experiences. But you notice they don't never give men that same grace. They kind of got this attitude as if like all women are angels, when deep down y'all know what y'all capable of. I'm like, it's the same reason why women say they don't trust their friends around their man. I'm like, because deep down y'all know how women move.
The relationship, the beginning, I guess the beginning of it all was witnessing domestic violence, the severity of what my mum went through growing up. And I know a lot of people can relate. In Turkish cultures, especially Turkish, Arabic, any kind of ethnic culture, to be beaten by your husband is normalized. It's one of those things that it's like, women just have to endure it. We have to accept it. And,
in the comments,
that my mum, because of the sake of my younger brother, she stayed in that relationship.
What was the psychological effects that it had on you? How would you describe that?
It almost normalized it, so it was no coincidence when I hit 26, 27 that I kept finding myself in relationships with abusive men. That played a really big part in terms of my psychology, and, not realizing, I think it was more of a subconscious decision that, I was making, that I would end up in a relationship with men who at some point would end up abusing me. If it wasn't physically, it was emotionally or mentally. And it was a pattern that was continuing throughout, kind of my adult life.
So let's talk about the video. the recent viral
Okay,
video.
let's get into it,
So when
please.
the video first dropped, you mentioned that it was fake and it was AI. Can we talk a bit about that? Like, what did
Liars
you mean?
be lying.
So given the size and scale of my account, I'm not the person that always is behind running my account. So the video was sent to me, and my first response to the video was that this has been edited, this is fake. And that's what I said to my team. So they then took that and said it was AI. When I realized that they'd put out it was AI, I deleted the story immediately. And, then went forward with saying it's a very, very real video. It's just been, it's a 7-minute video that has been edited specifically to show me in a particular light, So I think there was a misunderstanding there for sure.
Obviously, there's a lot of things that we need to unpack about that video, but you mentioned that, you hate men in that video. And obviously you describing everything that you've gone through psychologically, one could argue that, it's understandable why you would kind of have that viewpoint. But you've mentioned that your dad didn't contribute to it, it was your stepdad. And then you also entered into abusive relationships. What did those abusive relationships look like? What did you experience?
In relation to the video, the person that I was in a relationship with, it was over a period of 18 months. When I first entered a relationship with this guy,
it was an 18
generally
months?
I would, be naive enough, because I'm someone who wears their heart on their sleeve naturally in every scenario, every situation.
Oh, gosh,
and
shut up.
One of the things that led me to even entering this relationship was just being vulnerable enough to take people for face value. The manipulation that went into pursuing the relationship from him, early on in the relationship, really was, when I look back and reflect, I think, okay, I definitely was in a really broken state. When I look back at that video, because, I've watched it a couple times, and just to set the record straight,
They will always victimize themselves. It will always be the other person's fault. The guy will always be the narcissist. The guy will always be the manipulator.
Which I find very interesting, because in that video, that woman literally said, I hate him because he is so much like me. So does that make you a manipulator? Does that make you a narcissist? What did I just say earlier, you guys? You let them talk long enough, they will tell on themselves. I'm like, some of y'all women, when y'all get caught up in this, and because I think I've done a reaction video or two of some other people that have been on this particular podcast, video, channel, whatever you want to call it. And it seems like, they always end up telling on themselves, bro. Any kind of long format type of content, y'all need to keep it short and sweet. Cause she sounds stupid as hell.
That video was filmed almost 10 years ago. The person who I was speaking about in that video wasn't arrested and wasn't prosecuted. Whilst I said some extremely, extremely, vile things in that video, a lot of people have really focused on the hate and the anger, and
I'm so sorry. I'm just going to cut you, because you said the person in the video that you were referring to was not prosecuted, was not arrested, was not charged.
Absolutely not. He wasn't, he wasn't charged. He didn't go to jail. And actually the video was provided to the police, and because the video was provided to the police, he managed to get away with those charges. And as a result of that video being provided to the police, I was charged, caution, and I had to go on probation. So I have a criminal record, and that was a decision made by the police at the time.
Good decision.
So I really had to pay the price.
Oh, shut up. Going on probation after accusing someone that could have ended up in a 10-year jail sentence is not enough. They went light on your lying ass, and you should have gotten some hard time. You should have gotten the exact same sentence that he would have gotten if he was thrown in jail. That's how you deter these losers. And shout out to the friend again for exposing the serpent for exactly who she truly is. This is what accountability should look like, not the way that she's describing herself in the background and oh, woe is me and this sob story. That's not taking accountability. That's justifying how she might behave in a certain way. She weaponized false allegations and was caught red-handed and received a ridiculously light sentence.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. This is exactly why I said the exact same thing that MTR said, and I said this a long time ago. I always thought that the easiest way to get women to quit trying to pull this shit is if you start giving them the same amount of time you was gonna give the person that they're accusing of. You got to give them the same time. That's the only way you're gonna get women to stop lying about this shit. Because this right here lets you know that they'll still be incentivized to lie. Because if they know that the worst case scenario, all they're going to get is probation in comparison, this guy was facing 10 years, y'all. A dime, bruh. Ain't no way in hell, bro. Like, I guarantee you, if you start giving women the same amount of time, if she would have been looking at 10 years for lying, I bet you her ass would have shut the fuck up. I bet you she would. This is ridiculous, man. And then got the nerve to talk about this shit in this interview like she really suffering from this shit. Like, bro, this man was gonna do 10 years for some shit that he didn't do. All you got was probation for lying about it. What the fuck, man? I see why people wanted me to react to this, man. I'm getting off of here, bro. Because now I'm hot, bro. I'm mad now, bro. Y'all let me know what you thought about this. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way y'all know when I'm uploading. Hit the like button because that's with the algorithm and helps me reach a broader audience. Also, look out for the travel vlog channel as well as the live show channel. Both links are in the description. Until the next video, y'all, deuces.